There's a lot of confusion about the T25 right now. Most of you guys are probably familiar with it, but if you aren't, it's an American medium tank, the precursor to the M26 Pershing. It was nerfed just yesterday, but why it was nerfed wasn't explained very well, so I thought it would clear things up a bit, and explain the other ways the vehicle will change. Compared to the M26, the T25 is lighter, has a lot less armor, and a vertical stabilizer. Thanks to the stabilizer, the T25 is better than the M26. This presents a bit of an issue for the tech tree. Tech trees try to stay more or less chronological, especially when two vehicles are directly related. But the T25 was performing really well, so well in fact, that it's now the same BR as the M26, 6.3. This was an issue both chronologically and for lineups. If you include premiums, America has a lot of 6.3 tanks available, but for 6.0, they have a total of 3. Luckily for Gaijin, they were given an out. A bug report was filed saying the T25 shouldn't have a stabilizer. To be clear, this report is technically correct, and the person who filed it knew what they were talking about. That being said, it does get a bit dicey. 2 T25 prototypes were built, pilots number 1 and number 2. If you look at Honeycutt's Pershing book, it says neither of them had stabilizers, but this is incorrect and it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. Honeycutt is a great source most of the time, but he isn't always correct. We know that the number 1 pilot definitely had a stabilizer installed. This is detailed in a report called Gyro Stabilizer, 90mm gun, in tanks. It states, the Westinghouse gyro stabilizer unit will stabilize the 90mm gun M3, as installed in the medium tank T25, with the same degree of accuracy as in other tanks. On the 30th of May 1944, the stabilizer was installed. From July 1944 to December of 1944, the stabilizer was tested. It was essentially an M4 stabilizer with enlarged components, and it worked about as well, so the 24 km/h cutoff was more or less correct. The issue lies with the game's model. To put it simply, the tank shown in game did not exist. It's neither of the pilots. It roughly has the hull of the number 1 pilot, and the turret of the number 2 pilot. There are some other bits and pieces that are mismatched, but in my opinion, it looks the most like the number 1 pilot. The bug report also mentions the weight, saying it matches the number 2 pilot's weight, but I don't think that's a strong argument. Weight's a soft stat, and it can be changed very easily. In light of this, Gaijin decided to remove the stabilizer. I took issue with the fact they said it was the number 2 pilot, so they've decided to change the model. At some point in the future, the model will be adjusted to look like the number 2 pilot. It's also remaining at 6.3, but they said they'll keep a close eye on it. Bar the lack of a BR reduction, I'm actually okay with this outcome. I don't think it's the easiest path. I think making it look like the number 1 pilot would be easier, since pretty much all you'd have to do is change the weight, remove the pistol port, and remove the turret stowage rack. But again, it's an amalgamation, so it's Gaijin's call. If anything, I just hope they don't bring it back as a premium. If they do introduce the number 1 pilot, I hope it's either a tech tree vehicle or an event vehicle. However, I don't understand the decision to keep it at 6.3 at all. I mean, think about it. At that point, it's just the worst M26. All it has is reverse speed. As the number 2 pilot, it also won't have a 50 cal, so that's something to consider. It's clear Gaijin didn't like trying to balance a stabilized T25. They pushed the bug report through very quickly, so it's a very confusing decision to leave it at 6.3. I'm worried it'll end up staying there permanently, since only the most skilled T25 players want to keep playing it. Regardless, I don't think it's anything to get up in arms about. If it does get down tiered, it'll still be a pretty good medium tank. I would like to hear what you guys think about it though, so leave your thoughts in the comment. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.